Star quality. I got it. I got this. You got it. You got it. My chart says so. Look at me go. Sun moon rising. It's all about time. It's all about time. Red lips. What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Star quality.
What's it all mean? What's it all mean?
Star quality. Woo. No, dude, really, what does it all mean? Star quality. I got it. You got it. We got it. Star quality. Star quality. Oh my stars, y'all. Welcome back to Star Quality. Did you love that theme song? I love my theme song. Theme song drop. Oh my gosh. Happy new moon. I love my song. Wasn't that amazing? If you're new here, the theme song is new. This was just the premiere. So happy birthday to the Star Quality Club remix. I made the theme song with a amazing producer and friend, Kabir, aka Sun Kin. I'm going to link everything to them. So check out their work, their music. Their TikTok is so good too with all their songs. Like, you'll enjoy. So thank you, Kabir. Literally made an idea in my head turn into a song. It's the first song I've ever made. I'm like stoked because can't you tell? First song I've ever made. I love music. I'm a Taurus. And yeah, I had these lyrics. I wrote the lyrics. I'm the vocals on the track. And Kabir helped me, we did this session in person. We did it on the winter solstice, actually. And I was waiting for the right time to premiere it. And this 4-5 day window that we're in right now is like, I knew it was going to be then. And now that I'm here at this date, I'm like, I'm so happy it is now. So happy new moon. Welcome to Star Quality. That was the bop. I love my song. And yeah, I just want to talk about my song for a little bit just because it's its birthday. It's a new moon birthday. So I made a post. It should be, I'm recording this ahead of time. It will be live on Instagram, but I made a lyric video post on my Instagram, spaghetti_witch. So if you want to go take a look over there, you can look at the lyrics. I'll put the lyrics in the show notes too. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to make a song that sounds like the music I like to listen to. So like definitely some Charlie XCX influence from D Light, who I love, and all just the like Euro jock jams stuff, Night at the Roxbury soundtrack that I grew up with. And also there's like the instrumental kind of guitar part. Me and Kabir are calling that star guitar. It's definitely very like Chemical Brothers. I'm a raver singer girl now, so I'm so stoked. I'm feeling inspired to even maybe more music is coming up this year that feels very Piscean new moon. If you are watching this episode on video, welcome back. I'm back on video, trying a new software, so we'll see how this one, if it sticks. But if you're watching on video, you can see I already have the chart for this new moon up, and I can do an amazing little PowerPoint-esque presentation and show you with my clicker. Yeah, you can see it zooming here. So if you are watching on video, you can see it. But it's totally chill to listen on audio too. I will explain everything, but if wherever you're listening or watching, if you could subscribe, comment, heart, engage. I think it's, I think we also passively consume things all day on the internet. And if you're here and enjoying this, interact, play with me. Yeah. And it just helps me know what you're liking. It helps other people find this, because once things are engaged with, then it brings into the algorithm. it's helpful. And so I appreciate your help in supporting Star Quality. And if you're new here, crazy episode coming in, but hey, it happens. Star Quality is a podcast and newsletter hosted by me, your astrologer, Stevie Goldstein. And this is going to be a free for everyone episode because it's the theme song's birthday. So mazel tov. And but if you'd still like to be a paid supporter to get all your full weekly horoscopes and all the other bonus content, please consider joining the third space, which is my member tier support group. Pretty much is my support group. It's all a support group. And for the cost of buying me an iced latte with oat milk every month, you get bonus content. This is a subscriber supported platform, so you just keep this train rolling. So couldn't do without you. Appreciate you. And Mars retrograde is fucking over, thank God. When I'm telling you, I've been around for some retrogrades, okay? That Mars retrograde fucking sucked. We're on the other side. I know we're about to enter into another retrograde eclipse season, but that Mars retrograde opposite Pluto for some time, it was like physically uncomfortable. So shout out to everyone that made it through, even if you didn't even feel like you made it through, but you're here and you're listening and we're moving forward, and there is glimmers of hope like this new moon, which is just such a, it's not all charm, I will say, like, not to just like be like, it's all good. Like, there is some things being challenged. However, this new moon happening, in the 5 days between Mars retrograde ending and Venus retrograde beginning, it is really this bridge between Mars and Venus. And when we talk about Mars and Venus, Mars is our knee-jerk needs. It's like impulse. And Venus is our methodical thought of our wants and our values. And what retrograde energy means, it doesn't mean, that like life has to end, right? Like we live life through retrogrades. But when there's like Mars and Venus back to back, which I haven't really seen, I'm sure there's like some pattern, like, oh, this happens every whatever years or something, but to see it and witness it and experience it, I'm zooming in, has been just wild. And it's impossible not to connect those two, even though like, Mars retrograde just ended, we're still in the shadow, post shadow, we are in Venus retrograde pre-shadow. Then also, I just need to do an episode about March in general. March is March Madness, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, eclipses. And, oh my God, and like Neptune changing into Aries on like March 30th. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to March. I'll make an episode about March. Don't worry your pretty little head. There's going to be a full episode about Venus retrograde. There's going to be an episode about everything. But the days between Mars retrograde and Venus retrograde, having this new moon is such a take a breath, everybody. Take a deep breath. You're okay. Life is not happening to you. Please continue to dream and have goals and wishes and aspirations, because that is Pisces. And I'll zoom in and go over some aspects of everything too with this chart, but just want to acknowledge that this has been a really hard year. And if you're in the United States and not into fascism, it really fucking sucks. So, but I don't know. I've been seeing and feeling, I get the sense that like, it's okay to feel bad for yourself and the situations and things when things suck. Like, it's okay to just be like, yeah, this shit sucks. But we also can't just then like roll over and accept defeat and bullshit, because it's like, I don't know, like just to go political for a second, because astrology is political. Like, you can't walk into my fucking house with your shoes on and be a dick and not expect me to say anything. Like, that's how it's feeling. Like, there's an uninvited, even though they were technically invited, like a vampire, by like voting, I guess. And from a lack of inspiration from the Democratic Party and a lack of listening to the people. But yeah, there's just like a very extremely rude house guest that's like trying to squatters' rights your house. And I think there will be, and this will be covered in the March episode, there's so much swing into Aries energy this year, and you gotta fight sometimes. I'm an Aries moon, so I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm like kick this fucker out, like, not here. But this is not what this new moon is about. This is so take your shoe back to I don't know why I'm on the shoes, but Pisces rules the feet. Take your shoes off, put on put on something comfortable but sexy. It's like wearing like upgraded pajamas that you could wear out of the house and also in bed. But this Pisces new moon, another one at 9 degrees, and this, but just for anyone new moons are when the sun and moon are in the same spot. So we can see here in my chart that it is at 9 degrees, and that is when the moon is the darkest, right? So a full moon is all the light, and a new moon is dark. And why we talk about manifesting with new moons is because when it's so dark, it gives you the space to just be with your thoughts and to be with yourself. That's why I really like full moons for like partying and gathering with friends, like a full moon gathering. I'm not opposed to a new moon gathering, but like I want to work on like my intentions. But of course, making intentions with friends is also really powerful, and that feels very Pisces actually. So no shade to it, but in terms of like socializing and just like kikiing, I like love a full moon. This chart that's up is for Los Angeles, so don't worry too much about the rising sign. That's going to change and vary depending on where you're located. But this new moon is happening on February 27th, 2025 at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. And I don't know if you see this over here outside of the new moon, but we are just in a Pisces fiesta. It is Pisces, almost earthing. Of course, the sun and moon, because it's Pisces season, every new moon in Pisces season is going to be a Pisces new moon. Saturn has been in Pisces for a while. I can't believe we're going to get a taste of Saturn in Aries this year. Back to the Aries energy. Pinning that for a future ep. We'll talk about it later. So subscribe and stay tuned. You'll get the updates in your inbox. Mercury is in Pisces. Also, we're gearing up for the Mercury retrograde. The North Node in Pisces, we're gearing up again for our eclipses happening in Pisces and Virgo. And then Neptune in its final days of Neptune and Pisces. Well, it's going to retrograde back eventually, but it's still the end of a long chapter. And then also out of sign, but in the conversation, is Venus and Aries. And if we're feeling generous, Chiron is lurking nearby too. So I feel like I say this every new moon, but I really, really mean it for this one, is please work with this one. Please dream. Please manifest. Please ask the universe. Do sex magic. I just did some. Do, meditate. I just did that. Oh my God. I have so much to share. I feel like I haven't podcast in a while. Maybe just time has been so weird with Mars retrograde, but Pisces, if you walk away with anything, Pisces is magic. Pisces is things that shouldn't happen in a both positive and negative way. There is magic in the world that can happen, that it's possible. And I think what we're unlearning when the South Node is in Virgo, even though this is going to be a little more louder when we're in proper eclipse season time, is Virgo and earth signs are so about the steps. I have to do A to equal B to equal C. If I, go on 2 dates a week and only with people this age and in my area, I will find love. And it's like, or you could just like fall in love with a stranger on the street, or like get back with an ex who you've had seen in 10 years, or like, it's like this Pisces energy is such a like, no, steps can be skipped, magic can happen, we can go out of order, it's the last sign, it's been waiting patiently. If you're a Pisces, I'm sure you're used to being like, oh my god, I have to wait for all fucking 11 signs. But also, I don't even think of Pisces thinking in that way. They're just like, yeah, I'm last. Like, I don't know, shout out to anyone who has like their last name that starts with a Z. Like, you're used to being the last one. And so when you're used to being the last one, you've seen every other sign's mistakes and also every sign's accomplishments. And that's why, it's rumored that Pisces has a little bit of energy from every sign. They are like the collective and connection. And so they know that there is no logical steps to life. It doesn't work that way. And anyone who's done all the logical steps to life, are they not the most boring person you've ever met? Are they not the townie and they're doing the same exact life as someone else and it's just like, oh cool, who cares? No offense if that's what you want, but like for most people listening, if you're spiritual, it's probably not what you want. So this new moon, besides, the only aspect that's being made is of course the conjunction of the sun and the moon, because that's a new moon, but just a square to Jupiter. And I'm saying that casually, just a square. I mean, squares are challenges, squares are pressure. A square aspect, so that's that red line with the box, and it is that 90 degrees point that happens, the 90 degrees distance between two planets. And so we have Jupiter and Gemini making a mutable square to the new moon. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I believe what this symbolizes, especially because Jupiter in Gemini is abundance, especially in communication and friends and people. Gemini is definitely humans. I know we're always like, Libra's the first sign that represents others and people. It's like, I don't know, whatever. The square is such a like, you don't have to listen to the outside noise. You don't have to go along with what your friends are doing. You don't have to, I don't know. Like, I feel like I saw a post recently that was like, you can take a year off of work to go travel and return to your job. Like, nothing is this like finite forever decision. And because it is rooted in mutability, and hello, we have so much mutability in the sky in general because of all the Pisces energy in the sky, there is a flexibility that is being asked from to yourself, because the sun and moon, it's like, it's the conscious and the subconscious coming together to get aligned with what we want. And that's what's amazing about new moons, especially if we're going to work with them in a manifesting way. You can do things that no one's seen before, that, like maybe your friends, like, I don't know, I feel like I just see this a lot, maybe it's being an astrologer and being in a very now internet-y business and seeing so many accounts that look the exact same. And I think like sometimes I get like, I love TikTok, but like, and this is not just an astrology problem on TikTok, I think this goes to a lot of different industries and practices and whatever you want to call it, is like, I'm just getting so much of the same information over and over. Like, I guess maybe me saying the Pisces new moon is like magical isn't like that unique, but unpacking the rest of the chart, I hope, gives some context that makes it unique. And like, you're gonna hear the word dreams a million fucking times because Pisces is connected to Neptune in the dream realm, but like, your dream doesn't have to be anyone else's, and it might not be fun. There might be some hard work that you're going to have to do in order to break away from the pack and to not just like, I'm just seeing like the image of like, what is different about you? If there's been something you really want to accomplish and dream and do, then you're gonna have to do something different than everybody else. And I think that's what I'm coming back to, like the TikTok factory of like astrologers, and bless everyone's hearts, because I'm sure that's how they're learning and growing their fan base and whatever you want to do. But eventually especially as Pluto keeps moving through Aquarius, like, I need a unique identity over here. Like, I want to see not just like what Google or ChatGPT or like first result synonyms say about the transits, right? And I think this is coming back to like, I hope we are entering an artistic renaissance, because I think when you claim the words of art and like, I'm an artist, I make art versus making content, right? Like, it's a declaration that represents something bigger. Yeah, I mean, if someone said to me, I like your content, I mean, I guess it's literal and I do make content, so it's like, thank you. But it's like, I'd get such a bigger compliment if it's like, I love your words. Ooh, that's the Jupiter Gemini stuff. Your ideas, Gemini stuff. Okay, some gotta start talking, and then the ideas come out. What you breaking out of everyone else's idea. Even if this is maybe showing how the sausage is made. Even if I know everyone's gonna say this is a dreamy Pisces new moon. Okay, how do I expand? How, in a Jupiter way, how do I expand on my concepts? Because the only other aspect being made to Jupiter is a sextile from this Aries Venus, and we're about to have Venus retrograde. Aries is a risk taker. Venus is, again, connected to the things that we want in our life, the good stuff. And Aries needs to fucking say what it wants. You know, it's not like Pisces and that kind of like, we'll vibe it out and see. Like, no, Aries like, what is this? Where do we stand? What is this thing? What are we doing? How long is this going to be? You know, like Aries is asking what the questions it needs for itself. And like, I love when there's Aries energy, because Aries, now this can be difficult sometimes in a societal sense. Aries does encourage us to be selfish for ourselves, to advocate for ourselves. Now, hopefully you're not a fucking dick about it, you know? That's the real kicker sometimes. But a sextile is like, because it's like good, you know, like it's like positive, but it's positive and you have to work at it. It's not like try and ease, it just happens. Like, there is a, like, you can have what you want and your ideas can be uniquely you. It's just like, it might be uncomfortable to get there. And maybe it also requires like breaking up, like, I don't know, my brain went to like routine, or like if you've been just kind of distracting yourselves with socializing, or maybe the socializing ain't hitting because you know you've had this like dream or goal or deadline or something you have to work on, but you like keep just going to the people that are just distractions, because Pisces can be the disassociating sign. It can distract itself with drugs and alcohol or whatever is its vice. And so there is a little bit like, not to be the fun police, but there is a little fun police happening, because I think there's a goal you would want to attain, but it's going to require a little bit of a lifestyle change. Okay. Well, while we have Venus up, what aspects is she making? Okay. A very wide conjunction to Chiron. I can't even believe my software is showing me that. I don't know if I would technically count that. Okay, I'm so curious if that was picked up on my microphone. I feel like I heard a crazy loud like squeak, and I had to like pause and text my husband like, did you just make a loud squeak? And he said no. So that might have been the choir of God being like, you're onto something. Or maybe that Chiron connects. I mean, Chiron's been in Aries, and so that's been also the kind of issue with you know, Aries and Venus retrograde stuff, is it's like the self-loathing is at an all-time high, even though the Chiron key is to like love ourselves, to be into ourselves, to be like, man, I love hanging out with me. Like, me does whatever. Me does all the stuff me likes. But coming back to that bridge between Mars retrograde ending, Venus retrograde beginning. Oh, looky here. We have a square. Again, pressure. Again, a check-in. Again, fucking notice me, bitch. Between Mars and Venus. Wants and needs. Mars and Venus both not in places it likes to be. Venus is doesn't love being in Aries because it's not like soft and smooth like Taurus and Libra. It's like, love me, be with me, like my shit. And then Mars in Cancer is like, I can't believe you didn't like my stuff. Like, it's just like that kind of, it can be a little resentful and bitter. I have this natally, so like I just speak this language, but no bad sign, air quote, or no sign out of place is in a vacuum. Like, they have their own gifts too. Again, Aries is asking us to maybe be a little unlikable, to not just be like whatever you say, like the opposite of that Libra energy that can come with people pleasing, right? And then Cancer Mars too is if people are being fucking weird, and I'm speaking as a natal Cancer Mars, so like I stand 10 toes down for Cancer Mars energy, because I actually think why we're seen as a weak Mars is because we actually know what's up. Spoken like a true Cancer Mars. I think Cancer Mars is so attuned to the energy of the room. Like, if someone is secretly holding a grudge, or if someone is like feeling off and they know it, but they can't say it because they sound paranoid, but then once they say it, it was the truth. So that being said, and it being the bridge of the retrogrades, is the wants and needs are getting a value check. Venus retrograde that's coming up Saturday is big breakup energy time, big reassessing dating life. And also, you know, I'm married and in a long-term thing. I wouldn't be shocked if there's some things that come up that are just like, hey, like, we've been together now a long time. Aries wants some newness and freshness. Cancer Mars is like, can have those like long building sensitivities. So like, there just might be some outstanding emotional bills that are due. I'm not saying like, again, my husband listens to this most of the time, so I'm not hinting like we have to work on that or work on anything in particular, but I wouldn't be surprised if that comes up during that retrograde time, because it is the ripe time to do it. So of course, pick your battles, but also pick your battles. Don't not pick a battle, because I think even though retrogrades can be like, don't bring up things, it's like, it's the time to bring up things, because it's the time to take those pauses and go, what the fuck am I doing with my life, and is this working? Especially, again, wants and needs, are they matching? Because you can be like, oh my god, I wanted this, like, you know, to date this like girl who's like beautiful and creative and does these things, but I also need her to like pay the bills and like pick me up and like do, like, it's the love, it's like a balancing and equilibrium balancing of the love language. I can't remember who I saw who was like, I'm all love languages, like you should be doing all these things. And that feels like this Aries Venus square Cancer Mars, like, actually you should be doing every fucking love language, not just one. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh, you're really good at gifts and that's it? Like, hell no. I need you to pick me up from the airport. I need you to like keep a clean house with me, and I need you to compliment me and grab my ass and like tell me I'm pretty. So this feels like, yeah, leaning into all love languages is going to be so necessary. Okay, let's move to Mars. Okay, we see some new angles lit up. I'm just following the web. This Mars in Cancer, we talked about the square to Venus, and it's squaring that Chiron too, so give yourself some grace. There just could be some like frustrations aired, and you might be mad at yourself. I mean, that's the real Chiron Aries of it all. There could just be like feeling like someone, I think it's both. I think that's what it is. Everyone's responsible. Everyone is responsible for the shit that's happening. Like, if you have like a bad boyfriend, you might be feeling like, why did I let him be bad for so long? Like, why did I let this go on for so long? And like, because you didn't know any better. Or maybe you didn't know any better, but now you know better now. And like, at least you're still not doing it, right? Like, there is always, isn't that just the quest for life, being like, why didn't I do this thing sooner? It's like, we are always going to have that. So like, the sooner we can like Saturn trine, forgive ourselves, grow, mature, don't dwell, like there's a forward progression of growth. Like, you know, it's a better late than never, right? Like, just do it. I hinted at it earlier. I have 2 days left, but I'm beginning my transcendental meditation practice through the David Lynch Foundation. I'm so fucking grateful and gratitude filled. It's like out out of this world. I feel like I'm rolling right now because I'm like high on meditating. But I just did that earlier and it was so sick. And, you know, they said like, you know, ideally you meditate 20 minutes in the beginning of the day, 20 minutes midday or end of day. But like, just because you don't have the 20 minutes doesn't mean skip. It means like do 10, you know, like, and that feels very this Saturn Mars trine. Like, you don't just say, oh, I'm not doing anything, you know, or like, oh, I should have left earlier. It's like, well, you left. Some people would just stay forever. So like, I don't know, give yourself some credit for the growth and like what has transpired so far. Let's go to Saturn, shall we? Okay, like, I mean, obviously opposite the nodes, but that's like always the case. I gotta go move back to the Pisces cluster because so much is happening there, including all this positive energy from Uranus. Change, evolve, embrace some eccentricity. Like if things are a little bit doldrums, you know. Pluto is also giving good vibes over to the Pisces energies, particularly to Neptune. Like you can envision and build something else. Like sometimes you just hit the end of a chapter. Like there might not even be anything wrong. It's just knowing that there's new energy in the air. And especially once we're done with this retrograde, which is starting March 1st and ending April 12th, it's all new shit end of spring into pretty much the rest of the year. So consider this your sign to like wrap some shit up. Like if you've been like, I really want to like, I'm just using astrology because I feel like I've had a lot of people asking me about like becoming an astrologer. Get organized right now. Fix that website. Launch a theme song. Like, you know, do the things because you're going to be probably busy and pivoting and doing new shit come spring, summer because that is what's on the menu. That's what's happening. Yeah, I mean, just like when you see this cluster of Saturn, again, where we mature, where we build, where we grow, where we have discipline, Mercury, our ideas, our connections, communication, making, you know, connecting the dots, the North Node, our destiny path, like where we're heading, our purpose in life, and Neptune, the higher octave of Venus, there is a dream world out there that is tangible. That's what it's all feeling. It's feeling like this isn't like that weird. And maybe you need to book an experience or a trip or something that gives you some perspective. I don't know if you're just feeling too home because the Pisces needs to maybe get a little far out. Again, it's both connected to Neptune and Jupiter. And I go back to Jupiter with like travel and abundance. And like, maybe that's the other thing. Maybe the Jupiter square to the sun and moon is maybe feeling like you just been seeing the same people. You might need just like new energy in your field. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I talked about everything. I'm looking around the chart. Talked about Pluto. I mean, it's all like in conversation together. We talked about Mars. Okay. How was that for you? Was it good? Yeah, dude. Perspective flipping, you know what I mean? I think that this is all very encouraging. I think please just do what you can with this energy while it's here before we go back into our weird hibernation calibration chamber that is Venus retrograde. It won't be as bad as Mars retrograde. LOL, like last words, like it won't be that bad. I mean, now pair it with Mercury retrograde eclipses, but Mars retrograde, because it is like energy and passion and it was so stagnant, it's just what a false start. We knew this. I've been saying this whole 2025. I will never doubt astrology. I'm not a doubter of astrology anyways, but you know, when I was seeing and you probably were hearing like, oh, 2025 is gonna be crazy. I'm like, how crazy could it be? No, I'm never asking that question again. Like, I will just be like, oh yeah, that makes total fucking sense. Happy theme song birthday. Thank you for listening. Tell your friends, subscribe, book a reading with me. I would love to see you in your readings. I put some dates up for March, so please book. If you're in LA and want in-person readings, first I can do that privately and arrange that, or I have some shop hours coming up at Pure Heart Collective. I don't know if you know the amazing psychic Wendy she blew up from the podcast Otherworld. She opened a new brick and mortar storefront space. I went and got a reading for the grand opening, like a 5-minute hand touch psychic session, and she was like, you should work here, from that reading, which was like Pisces new moon is hell. So this episode's coming out on the new moon on the 27th. I will be in person at Pure Heart Collective in Sherman Oaks on Friday, February 28th from 2 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So please come, please book. Natal chart readings, solar returns, auspicious date selection, compatibility readings, and what else am I offering? And creative unblocking. I don't know if I've talked, this is actually great for Pisces new moon. I'm sure I've shared this, but for anyone new, I have an art background. I got a BFA in photography. I went to a school of art and design that was specialized in the Bauhaus movement, which is this German philosophy of learning a little bit of everything. So I've done graphic design, industrial design, video art, performance art, you name it. And I'm very used to being in a critique art setting. And so if you're a person who has a project, whether it's art-based or a script or an idea for a business, creative unblocking, we can look at the astrology of your chart and also the transits to get a project in motion. And it's like part natal chart reading, part like critique workshopping. So I think it'd be really cute for the Pisces new moon. Oh, did I just show? I was like, that's just my notes. Whoops. If you're on video, you saw it. It was like not anything like salacious. But I was just like looking at my tabs. Whatever. This is my sign to go to bed, Pisces style, to sleep in a little bit. Thank you so much. Like, again, I'm on day 2 of transcendental meditation. I'm feeling just so charged and blessed and of service and happy, and like, yeah, I hope everyone listening finds that for themselves, whatever that is, whether it's meditation, whether it's, doing a school or a class or a thing that like gets you connected back in with what you're here to do on this earth. Because like, we need people to, especially cool, integrated, caring, compassionate people, to like not just fucking drop off. And like, I'm here for you, and we're all here for each other. So shout out to you, shout out to me, shout out to the universe, shout out to the planets and stars. I love you so much. Subscribe. Yeah, Venus retrograde episode coming out super soon, because it's like basically tomorrow. And all the March Madness stuff. So yeah, thank you. Love you. Bye bye.